And the normal position within two great powers, any two great powers should be engagement. But if you use the word in the United States, if any American politician says, I'm in favor of engagement with China, he's dead. He's finished. I mean, that's how bad the situation is. Now, your bigger question was, where is China heading? Is it going to disrupt the world order? Or is it going to become, in a sense, a supporter of the current world order? And my answer to you is that will depend on how we treat China as it is rising. You know, Napoleon famously said, don't wake up the sleeping dragon, China, because if you do, it's going to shake the world. Now, you and I know that there are two ways of waking up a human being. Either you wake up the person very gently, whisper soft things into his or her ear, nudge him gently, then he or she will wake up relatively happy. Or you could take a bucket of water and splash it on the person and say, wake up. You can imagine how angry that person's going to be. And paradoxically, while the United States, to be fair, engaged China very well in the Cold War. Kissinger's visit in 1971 to roughly till the end of the Obama era in 2016. So for 45 years, roughly, the United States did engage China quite well. And actually, at the end of the day, created a China that had stakes in the current world order and also became a responsible stakeholder of the world in many ways. But since then, the United States has now decided to do the opposite and use all kinds of measures to stop the rise of China. And in the case of the United States today, even though the United States is bitterly divided as a society, and Trump and Biden don't agree on anything, but they only agree on one thing: it's time to stop China. Which I think, by the way, is an unwise policy because it ain't gonna work. You can't stop China's rise. China's rise or demise will be determined by internal forces inside China. You from outside, you cannot influence it. And so if the United States is now going to take measure after measure against China, tariffs, CHIPS Act, sanctions, clearly China is going to emerge as a very angry dragon. And so I wonder whether the West has thought about this and say, is this what we want to see happen in the world? Now, for us in Asia, the biggest mistake we are making is that we can see the West creating an angry dragon. We know that this angry dragon will be a problem for us, but we keep absolutely quiet while the West is making the dragon angry. That's so unwise of us Asians. The trouble about Asians, as you know, is that we are too polite. And when the angry dragon is woken up, the United States may one day sail home and say, okay, I'm going to go home. I don't care what happens. Who's left to deal with the angry dragon? We are. So why aren't we speaking out? Why aren't we saying the most logical and most obvious thing that, hey, what are you doing? What are you trying to achieve? So we should be the ones acting to temper the forces that are trying to create an unnecessary conflict, because our own interests will be endangered by doing so.